Radicalism threatens pluralistic societies, and fellow democracies such as Canada and India are not immune to it. India views Sikh radicalism in Canada as a clear and present danger and wants Justin Trudeau to share India's concerns. But will Trudeau oblige? More importantly, can Trudeau condemn the Khalistani sympathizers? WION's Ramesh Ramachandran brings you the next report.
This is, they never let me go to speak there. When I was in America, and next I was to go to Canada, but this Khalistani lobby got together, all these surgeons and the others. I'm not going to meet him. He's coming to Punjab. Somebody can.
The surgeon means a defense minister. You will not meet him when he comes to Punjab.
No, I'm not going to go. I'll put some minister in charge.
You will not meet him. And on principle.
I'll tell you on a matter of principle. I don't agree on this. There are 5 ministers there who are Khalistanis.
Right.
And I'm not interested in meeting any Khalistanis.
The question is, can he bring himself to call out Sikh extremism in Canada? Or will he wear his political correctness on his sleeve while touring India? Canada is home to more than 1 million people of Indian origin. Like in neighboring United States and Europe, the Indian-Canadian community is an influential one economically and over the years politically too. The Sikhs in particular hold sway over Canadian life and politics. Sample this. There are 19 persons of Indian origin in Canadian Parliament. 17 of the 19 are from Trudeau's Liberal Party, and 15 of them are, as you would have guessed, Sikhs. There are 4 Sikhs in Trudeau's cabinet. Defence Minister Harjit Singh Sajjan, Infrastructure Minister Amarjeet Sohi, Science and Innovation Minister Navdeep Bains, and Bardish Chagar, Minister of Small Business and Tourism, who is also leader of the lower house of Canada's legislature. Little wonder then that Trudeau is sometimes called Justin Singh for having more Sikhs in his cabinet than even Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India. But ties between Canada and India have not exactly blossomed under Trudeau. The reasons are not far to seek. For one, India accuses the Trudeau government of treating Sikh radicalism with kid gloves. Amarjeet Sohi, for instance, was jailed in India under an anti-terrorism law. More recently, on 6 April last year, the provincial legislature of Ontario passed a resolution moved by Harinder Malhi, a lawmaker from Trudeau's Liberal Party, which called the 1984 anti-Sikh riots in India as genocide. India responded the very next day. Indian Foreign Ministry spokesperson said, and I quote, "We have noted the passage of a private member's motion in the Legislative Assembly of Ontario on April 6. We reject this misguided motion, which is based on a limited understanding of India, its constitution, society, ethos, rule of law, and the judicial process. Our views have been conveyed to the government and political leadership in Canada." The same month, Trudeau attended a parade in Toronto on what is known as Khalsa Day. Some in the Canadian Sikh community observed the day to glorify militants who were killed inside the Golden Temple during Operation Blue Star in 1984. India's current National Security Advisor Ajit Doval was involved in that operation as a young intelligence officer. As if that was not provocation enough, recently some gurudwaras or Sikh places of worship in Canada barred the entry of Indian government officials. Over the last decade and more, Canada has denied visas to some serving and retired Indian military, paramilitary and intelligence officials. Last year, a former Inspector General of the Central Reserve Police Force, Tejinder Singh Dhillon, was denied a visa because a Canadian consular official accused the CRPF of committing human rights abuses. The Indian Foreign Ministry was quick to raise an objection. 3 serving brigadiers, a retired Lieutenant General of the Indian Army, a former Intelligence Bureau official, a retired Border Security Force personnel, all have been denied visas over the last many years. In 2013, India denied Jagmeet Singh, the Canada-born leader of New Democratic Party, for allegedly indulging in attacking India's sovereignty and territorial integrity. A section of the Canadian media thinks Trudeau should call out the Sikh separatists. An editorial in the conservative-leaning Toronto Sun says extremism of any kind has no place in the country. The 1985 bombing of an Air India plane by Sikh extremists in Canada, which killed 331 people, is a case in point. Some Sikhs living in Canada are said to idolize the men who allegedly planned and executed the bombing in their quest for the Sikh nation of Khalistan. Posters celebrating these men as heroes are seen at Sikh parades or festivals. The editorial says it makes for dodgy politics. But another Canadian media report quotes a Trudeau aide as saying that while his government does not support extremism, it will also not deny Indian Canadians the freedom to speak out in favor of a separate Sikh state if they wish. How that will go down with New Delhi is anybody's guess. Ramesh Ramachandran, WION.
I was very impressed with my meeting with the Prime Minister. I had probably a half an hour meeting with him, and he has on the issues of trade, in the issues of cooperation in agriculture and in the service sector and all, he's very positive. And I'm sure in due course he's willing to work with Punjab. I raised the issue of Khalistan because that is our primary issue. There is money coming from various countries, including Canada, to Punjab to create this ruckus, and the Prime Minister is aware of it, and he's told me that he's going to look into this, and they believe in a united India.
अगर आप तथ्य देखें 1.4% कनाडा पंजाबी पॉपुलेशन है, सिख पॉपुलेशन है, और अगर हिंदुस्तान की पॉपुलेशन देखें तो 1.8, कोई ज्यादा फर्क नहीं है। एक पूरा पंजाबी सूबा कनाडा में बसा हुआ है। हमें सिजदा करना चाहिए जस्टिन ट्रूडो साहब को कि वो 1.4 पॉपुलेशन में से 4 सिख मंत्री उनके कैबिनेट में, तो एक ऐसा प्रधानमंत्री जो सिखों को, पंजाबियों को सम्मान देता है, इज्जत देता है, मैं कहता हूं कि उसके लिए अगर नतमस्तक भी होना पड़े तो हम सबको होना चाहिए।
There is certainly a cloud due to the Khalistani issue, because unfortunately Canada is now the only country in the world which is providing a platform, or seen to be providing a platform, to the Khalistani elements, not USA, not UK, and that is a matter of concern. And but I think yesterday's visit to Amritsar, where he saw, as I call in Hindi, Hasta Gata Punjab, he saw the strength of Punjabis, the strength of Punjab, the role that Sikhs, proud Sikhs, valiant Sikhs play in our country, I think would have an impact. And tomorrow he's meeting with the Prime. There's the official engagements day, so there'll be the meetings at the highest level, and we are looking forward to those meetings.
Justin Trudeau was greeted warmly as he visited the Golden Temple. The shrine, which is in Amritsar, in India's western Punjab state, is the Sikh faith's holiest site. But the Canadian Prime Minister's visit was sensitively organized. He was careful not to meet anyone openly connected to the pro-Khalistan movement. Khalistan is what Sikh separatists want to rename Punjab state if it separates from India. Months before Trudeau's first state visit, some Indian politicians accused him of being sympathetic to the separatists. All 4 of Trudeau's Indian-Canadian ministers are of Sikh origin.
This Liberal Party depends on the support, considerable support of the Sikh diaspora, which is almost a third of the total Indian diaspora in Canada. And many of their members, cabinet members, have been seen present during functions in Sikh temples, that is Gurdwaras, where those espousing the separate sentiment, the so-called Khalistanis, raise their banners, raise slogans, etc.
The pro-Khalistan movement is deeply controversial in India. In 1984, the separatists were involved in a battle with Indian troops at the Golden Temple, resulting in a number of deaths. Soon after, the Prime Minister at the time, Indira Gandhi, was assassinated in a revenge attack by her own Sikh bodyguards. That in turn sparked the mass killing of Sikhs on the streets of the capital, New Delhi. Sikh separatists in Canada retaliated by bombing an Air India flight that took off from Toronto, killing 329 people. That history of violence continues to cast a long shadow over Canada-India relations to this day. Whatever the case, the Canadian government's official policy is to support what it describes as a united India. Still, since his arrival in India, Trudeau has repeatedly had to downplay suggestions of a rift between him and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who sent a junior minister to meet Trudeau at the airport.
We are the two largest democracies in the world. One by population, the other by surface area. We should be doing better things together. And to really highlight the close ties, the incredible opportunities is what this trip is all about. And it's not a trip, a handshake and a photo op.
For the thousands of Sikhs who came out to greet Trudeau, the political success of Sikh Canadians is a point of pride. Scenes like this might play well back at home, but Trudeau will have to balance that with his primary goal of his trip, progress on trade and building stronger ties with Prime Minister Modi, who he meets on Friday. Imtiaz Tayyab, Al Jazeera.
Canadian journalist is facing fire online after she took on the powerful Khalistani lobby in her country. Meet Candice Malcolm, a columnist for the Toronto Sun. She'd first exposed how murder convict and former Sikh terrorist Jaspal Atwal got invited to the official dinner reception of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau during his recent India visit. That dinner invitation was cancelled after Malcolm revealed pictures of the murder convict with Trudeau and his wife. The journalist followed up that story with another expose of how Canada's New Democratic Party leader Jagmeet Singh has personal links with extremist Sikh rapper Chani Nat. The Canadian rapper backs the Khalistan movement and has scores of followers. Candice Malcolm shared a video of Nat on Twitter. Here is Nat with his crew of gun-wielding thugs waving a Khalistani independence flag. The Vancouver Canucks jersey is a nice touch, reminds us this is happening in our own backyard, unquote. That's what the Post said. Now, the journalist is facing live threats. She tweeted a picture of a tweet which threatened her, along with another one from the Twitter support team saying they could not do much about that offensive tweet. Candice Malcolm says she had approached Nat before she filed the story but got no response. And now she's being targeted for asking questions. She tweeted, and I'm quoting, Khalistani rapper Chani Nat is telling his legion of ignorant followers on Snapchat and Instagram to attack me on Twitter. Tip: if you're trying to convince a journalist you're not an extremist, don't send deranged messages justifying violence, unquote.
We need leaders that stand up for Sikh principles. We need leaders that stand up for the Sikh community, and each and every one of you can be a Sikh leader. The youth that are here today are our future. We need to encourage them to be our leaders because we need this leadership to grow the Qawm. We need to respond to this genocide. We need to stand together for Sikhi and for humanity. We're the only spiritual tradition in the world ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰੋਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਬੂਟੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਪ੍ਰਫੁੱਲਤ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ we need to engage all of our youth, all the people here today. Thank you so much for giving me some time to share my thoughts with you. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
I have more Sikhs in my cabinet than Modi does.
So Prime Minister, I am Jahan, an international student from Pakistan, from Punjab region, and it was really great to see so many Punjabis in your cabinet. So
yes, I have more Sikhs in my cabinet than Modi does.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Happy Vaisakhi. Today, Sikh communities in Canada and around the world mark the most important date in the Sikh faith, when Guru Gobind Singh Ji created the Khalsa Panth 319 years ago. Vaisakhi is a chance to celebrate together with loved ones at Gurdwaras and Nagar Kirtans. This year, I had the honor to visit the holiest site in the Sikh faith, Sri Harmandir Sahib, the Golden Temple, where I did seva and prepared langar for the congregation. Seeing hundreds of volunteers preparing free meals for thousands of people and seeing everyone sitting together as equals was deeply moving. Sikh values of service to the community, equality, and justice are Canadian values. For all of us, this holiday is a reminder that each day we can work harder to live out those values that make us strong. Vaisakhi is also a chance to honor more than 120 years of Sikh history in Canada. Sikh Canadians have helped build our country and continue to contribute each day to every part of our society. De la part de ma famille, Sophie et moi voulons souhaiter un joyeux Vaisakhi à tout le monde. Vaisakhi Dian Lak Lak Vadayan. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
But isn't it fair to say that Stephen Harper and the Conservatives also had some MPs who played very nice with the militant separatists? They showed up for the parades with the martyr posters, that the Indians complained to Mr. Harper in the same way. And then now you've got Jagmeet Singh of the NDP doing the same now when he refuses to object to the martyr posters for the Air India bomber. They're all playing the same game, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I've been saying. All, Khalistanis have found places and power within all major political parties. There's no exception. All three major political parties nationally are complicit in the Khalistanis trying to dismember India by being on their stages, by being in their parades where they glorify violence, by being in the parades where they promote dismemberment of India. And that hopefully stops. Both as a Canadian, as an Indian, I'd hope that our relationship improves, that we stop interfering in the internal affairs of India, even indirectly, even remotely, so that we can get on with enhancing trade and people-to-people contact with the largest democracy in the world, which is not perfect, nor are we.
All right, final word quickly. There's what's the best course of action for the Prime Minister now? How can he put this to rest? How can he convince Prime Minister Modi at their meeting tomorrow that this is history now, that he really has put it behind him?
Well, I think the Prime Minister has done that, started doing that by making that statement saying that the person would not be included in the reception and the MP would take responsibility. But, I think he will. It's important for him to send the message that this is an aberration, this is a mistake, that it won't happen again. He doesn't need to remind Mr. Modi that his government must have given Mr. Atwal the visa to go there. That's a separate matter. But ultimately, I think that we need to make sure that if we want good relations with India, that we need to actually ensure and assure the Indians that we don't hobnob or hold any sympathies or associations with the Khalistanis in Canada, which we have not done so far. We continue to associate with them.
Thanks for your time, sir. Ujjwal Dosanjh, former BC Premier, former Federal Minister of Health. Thanks.